really starting on the nut counting here.
And then you were like, what are you doing? And then you started realizing, I was like, I read this and it said 35 pieces. And I was like, oh, shoot, they're all halves. I'm going to have to count out 70 pieces right now. And so then when you were doing the intro, I started banging them out. So then like,
is it 35 halves or 35
whole?
Is it? Does it say whole or pieces?
It says pieces. But most of them they're like halves and wholes. I gotta put one back. Hold on. Or maybe not. Do you not? No. Actually, technically, I can't. Well, actually, that doesn't really matter. Hello, and hope you guys are having a great Sunday. I know we are. Me and Mikey are fired up, and this is Munchies with Max, and we are Max Fit USA. I am Hermit Coach Maximilian Marmot. Coach Max, and I got Mikey on the ones and twos. And again, we are Max Fit USA and CrossFit Costa Mesa. So, I was actually pretty excited about Sundays. And then Mikey was like, I thought we were trying not to do Sundays. And then I was like, I'm just trying to make it through the week and do 5 days a week. And then he was like, well, then why are you so lazy? And then I was like, well,
I did not say that first off.
The sun gets hard by Friday. And
that sun is beating down on us. Oh man, it's another level. I don't know how the CrossFit Games athletes do it out in Madison.
Whoa.
Especially that floor being 210. Did you get blisters on your hands, by the way? Because I almost did.
Dude, my hands, I had cut my nails a little too low on one side, and the warmth of it just ate up my hands. Yeah, funny you mentioned that. I feel like my feet are normally really, really bad, and right now my hands are struggling. And I mean, I'm lotioning up. I'm trying to look at they're struggling. They are dry, but yeah, and it looks like I'm a mechanic now. Everywhere I go, I got like really, really like dark black hands from the rubber and the oil, like it feels like from the ground. But I haven't really had to use chalk or anything. I'm actually scared of the chalk because of the amount of water. So I don't want to tear with the chalk and the clumpiness of it. And then when it starts getting wet, it's easier to tear. And I know when you use chalk, you're supposed to spit on it, but then you actually kind of dry it out. So you got to be careful of that. And most of us use chalk to try to dry our hands instead of just kind of keeping a sweat guard on. But that brings up Survivor Series. Survivor Series is something that normally I do at CrossFit Costa Mesa every August. And it's mostly in due because this is kind of our peak season to look good naked, and also it's summertime. So normally I push us outside anyways. Now, not so much the case. Uncle Sam has. And so therefore we're going to be outside and we're going to work out outside. And the beauty of it is that you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared for being in an element that you don't necessarily like. You don't necessarily have shade. And that's why Mikey said a minute ago, like hats off to the kids that go out to the CrossFit Games, whether it's when it was here, now in Madison, just being outside in general. I remember specifically us training for any type of competition. It was always about getting accustomed to the day, the eating habits, and then the wear and tear of the sun or the elements, you know. We had a rig put in and we had it installed in the back, one for more height for the rope climb and the muscle ups, but also two, to get people accustomed to working out outside. And one of my favorite things is training outside. And normally I used to do it somewhere around 1 to 4 times a week, depending on the season and what I was kind of doing and what was my goal. So I remember when I was talking to Skip, he got mad at me because we used to always go down to the college, and his college was at the bottom of the field. I had 100 yards and I would always mess around outside. So again, Survivor Series outside is no joke. You gotta really be smart about what you're doing outside. You gotta be prepared. So make sure if you guys are working out in the hotter times, you're putting on sunblock. Make sure that you guys are staying towards the center of the pack. So if what I mean by that is ask questions, don't be shy not to ask questions. Be prepared to learn new things, learn stuff about yourself. Don't overreach. And what I mean by overreaching is stay inside your track. So if you're someone that's probably an RX or RX plus that really shouldn't be there, this is probably going to be a real tough time for you because it's going to probably push you to where you really need to be. And then the other thing too is watch your weight with water, watch the weight that you're putting on your barbell, watch everything that you're doing. I mean, every type of weight, like again, your water weight, the barbell weight's important right now. So be prepared for it. Intensity in the heat, understanding what you can put out, what you're kind of not wanting to put out just because it's hot, and just taking better precautions. And then under recovery. Now, because it's hot, if you are drinking beer, this is the time, or coffee, this is the time, no joke, you got to match it with water or some type of hydration. So games afoot, be prepared until the end of August. Keep your head on a swivel. No?
Nonchalantly dropping, keep your head on.
No, I mean,
just get prepped, guys. Get prepped. Like, it's no joke. And this week is supposed to be gingerly.
Gingerly week 1. Gingerly. And we're normally supposed to go the other way. It's supposed to be hard week 1, storm, and then recover. But we're not ready for that. We're gonna. All right. That was kind of like Sea-Doo or something in the ocean. So my snack. I'm excited. So I got a bar snack. It's full on bar snack over here. I got a beer. I'm actually going to drink 2. It is a saber-tooth squirrel. I like the name of it. Saber-tooth squirrel, hoppy amber ale. I'm a red kind of guy.
We know.
or Irish red. And then Alex said, hey, he didn't drink any of the reds when I went over to his spot the other day when we were chatting. And then he only tried to give me back fat tires. The flat tire. I put it in front of his car though. So I left it right there. So the squirrel is 7%, and she got a little bite to it. I got no calories on this thing. Oof. Bummer. I thought for sure I'd have a little something, but no. And then the peanuts, the peanuts per ounce is 35 pieces. Me and Mikey here are arguing whether or not it's halves or whole, but that's kind of seems to be our relationship today. Halves or whole. Are you counting the half or the whole? If you count the halves and it's actually the whole, you're okay, right? Because you're under calories. If you count the wholes and it's technically the halves,
you're over it.
Yeah, you kind of got yourself. So,
but it's a fat, so your joints are gonna feel great.
Yeah, a little extra calories. The 35 pieces is roughly the top of the lid, not overfilled. So that's a good eyeball. I counted. Sorry, I dropped my nut. If I counted 35 pieces, and what I would do is looking at the lid, and now that's kind of my ghetto measurement. I might do that again if I were to be lazy and be like, oh, hey, I want a fast measurement instead of counting out the fast 35, even though it was pretty fast. And I might actually play a game with myself, pour them in there, and then count them and then eat them as I count them, just to see how good I am at eyeballing stuff. The better I can get at eyeballing stuff, the better I can get at kind of dieting on the fly, and I can be more prepared. So
252 calories for your beer.
Stop it. I'm mad at you. I hate this show. Damn it. Really?
Yeah. 38 minutes of cycling to burn it. 25 minutes of running to burn it.
Wait. Let's add in the nuts. 170.
Planners.
I got 170 calories over here. No way.
Just like that, I'm sitting at 400. So if I have 2 servings of each, I'm at the 900. I'm going back to the ice cream. I'm ordering a pint of ice cream tomorrow. No way. I'm not even going to
3
drink.
grams of carbs, 7 grams of protein, 14 grams. Yeah, you're sitting on 400 calories right now. After you finish the second beer, you're at 650.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
I mean, that's normal, right? That's how people gain weight. Drink a ton of beer.
Quick. Because your tolerance builds up too, right? So you drink 2 beers, and then like tomorrow I drink 2 beers. Next thing you know, I'm drinking 6 beers, which is about 60 ounces, 70 something ounces, 80 something ounces. Quite a bit of liquor. Damn, that's almost 1,000 calories, 2 beers, 2 servings of nuts. Okay. All right. How much fat is that?
14 grams of fat.
So 28 if I have 2 servings. And then it doesn't have much protein. Huh? 7 grams. Okay. 14 grams of protein. Not bad. And what did the beer have for carbs?
It was like 20 grams of carbs.
So then I'd end up with like 40. Just a bunch of empty
20
calories.
grams of carbs, 0 fat, 0 protein.
Just a bunch of empty calories. And then the nuts.
Energy.
That's why, I mean, you're almost better off drinking beers post-workout. It's a quick carb. It's liquid. You get some water in you, you're good to go. People are always so scared of it, but it's kind of a nice thing. So, all right. Mikey, do you have Saturday's WOD by chance?
Yeah. Let me pull it up right here. Bum. I'm
gonna go through. Oh, hey, you know what I didn't do?
So which one did you want? Did you want to do the
Well, let's bring up the card. Let's bring up the first 8 a.m. class. So online, I left the lifts. I left with a lot of my clients. I left what I had. I didn't really change. Sometimes I change it for the community, and I involved them with my home gym. But this one I did not. So Saturday, I got lucky. I got to train our coach. Normally it's Jillian. And so I decided to have some fun with my community. And what I mean by fun was in the morning at 8 a.m., we did a dumbbell workout. And then my next class at 9:30, we did a kettlebell workout. And then my next class at 11, we did a combination workout. So I was pretty pumped on it, mostly because if you were around from the next class, you're like, hey, wait a minute, we didn't get to do that. And really you did kind of do the same thing. However, you had done it at some other point, either in the week or at another time. So it was kind of funny. We had a good time with this. Mikey, was this the dumbbell and kettlebell? Because we combined the two. Pretty tough. What would you say was the hardest part of that?
just hanging on? Just because the way we train at 11, you couldn't really put it down. I put it down for 3 seconds and I got yelled at.
Yeah, it's hot out there. I wanted to get out. I there. I had to get to a birthday party, and then I realized you guys were starting to move slow, and I had other stuff to do when I had to get out of there. And so I was like, "Oof, I ain't got time for this today." we gotta go, guys. We gotta go. I got like a weekend of a 1-year-old's party. So
I think the hardest part was going from either dumbbell to kettlebell or kettlebell to dumbbell. Anytime we switched the apparatus, that was a little hard because I was so used to throwing it up a certain way, and then the moment you're like, "Oh, switch," and then we'd have to go pick up a different object, and then we'd have to change the movement, even though it's the same movement. So like a hang power clean with a kettlebell is going to be slightly different than it is with a dumbbell. Dumbbell is going to be a little bit easier, but because you're so used to swinging that kettlebell and letting it land or twist into your pocket, it just like kind of threw the momentum off.
I was thinking about that, Dvorky, and how we were doing a lot of that prior to going into quarantine and even in the beginning of quarantine. And then now we brought it kind of back out to just kind of test us. And it's been tearing us up out there on our taper week, right? Because that's why last week was technically a taper week. So that's why we did a bunch of unilateral stuff. And it just was like, like this, just eating people up. But I also think, again, it's because it's really grip intensive. The kettlebell has a thicker handle, or the dumbbell has a little bit of a thicker handle. Can't necessarily use a hip grip. You start tightening up, the blood pressure goes up, the heat's out there, you start to panic, and then it's like game over. So maybe too, the uncertainty of not knowing what was coming next. But I was telling everybody, for the most part, what we were doing. But this is something that I specifically have always been fairly well at, trying to move through it cautiously and then methodically, and then really focusing on how I move. So when I coach, sometimes I get kind of irritated because I am focusing on myself so much, and I'm paying attention how I move specifically. And then at the same time, I'm focusing on a group of 5, 10, 12 people, and I'm telling them what they're doing incorrectly. And yet they cannot focus and fix it correctly when I'm doing it myself while I'm actually looking at them. So I'm like doing 4 different things at one time, and they only have to do one, and they can't slow down to fix it. So if that gives you any part of why I get irritated, hopefully that gives you an understanding.
I could do it. Why can't you?
Well, no, not just that, but you're right. I walked in the snow for 30 miles, and you're like, no, you live in California. No, it's not. It's not just that. It's specifically the fact that sometimes people don't want to slow down and kind of pay attention to, oh, hey, he's saying to actually point my thumbs back when I'm doing a reverse lunge. Oh, wait, he's saying, kind of like why we find that doing the field routine twice really messes with people, because they want to go through it mundanely, right? They don't really want to put effort into it. Whereas someone like myself, I get into that second round and I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm starting to feel good. I'm settling in and I'm firing. So,
yeah, that was a toughie for sure. Just because it seemed like the auxiliary work, but it wasn't auxiliary work.
But it was.
But it was, and then it wasn't, and then it became a workout.
When I
like was a workout, a warm up into a workout.
When I used to train 3 times a day, in the morning I would get up. When I used to walk in the snow, in the morning,
uphill, both ways.
4:30, 5 o'clock, I would go into my garage and I would do technical work up to about 50%, no more than that, because I wouldn't want to drop it. And then I would stretch for duration, and I would do recovery work. Then I'd go train in the day, and I'd either do strength training or Olympic lifting. And then afterwards, I would either do bodybuilding or kettlebell work, core work, joint mobility, dexterity work with it. Then I would flip-flop whatever the other 2 I didn't do. I would do it at night and mixed in with gymnastics and things like that. So it makes sense to me now, more and more I look at it, why I was so conditioned, why I was so strong, and why I was even able to recover after some major accidents. Specifically, I'm going to give it to the dumbbell and the kettlebell. Specifically the kettlebell. The amount of kettlebell work I did, I'll tell you what, a lot of us that train quite a bit, the kettlebell will be our friend for the next 6 months.
I mean, the Russians got one thing right, and they just put a handlebar into a cannonball.
Yeah, well, like, I heard
this.
I heard one time that they built it specifically to develop a very good athlete that was lightweight with very good dexterity and mobility and strength and power output, and then the ability to transport a very high level gym around without bringing a lot of stuff. And that was something that really caught my attention to the kettlebell and why I was like so interested about it. Then I started hearing things about in the Russian training system, they all had up to about 40 kilos, and they all swore that they didn't use anything greater than 40 kilos, and they all had the same cast. So if you know anything about iron, I don't know much about it, but the cast iron that the cast that they would use for making them, they were all up to 40 kilos, and they all swore that they didn't use above 88 pounds. And when they would go to other gyms, they would technically start hiding stuff, apparently. And either they would make casts with bigger kettlebells, or they would drill holes in them, and then they would put lead into them to make heavier kettlebells. But they swore to the masses that they, or to the other gyms, the other schools, that they would only use up to 88. And so it was kind of like their own untold secret that they would use much more. But it wasn't much more than 106 pounds. That was about where the limit, or where they would want to do that auxiliary or accessory work training.
Yeah.
All right. But it was fun though. Dumbbell, kettlebell. I thought the dumbbell got my heart rate up faster because I was able to move it a little bit more. And then the kettlebell was more time under tension. I don't know. They both got my heart rate up, but
Yeah. For me, it was the opposite. The dumbbell kind of slowed my heart rate down. The kettlebell, I move a lot quicker.
maybe you had a real light dumbbell.
I was using 25 to 35.
No, but maybe you were moving it at the same speed as the kettlebell, which was probably smarter. Because I was trying to actually jam the dumbbell out, and now that I think about it, if I would have just, when I realized that, just kind of smell it out on it. But I was also saying that my group wasn't really paying attention to their spatial awareness, and then I saw somebody hit their head on the kettlebell, which proved my point.
Oh God.
Prove my point. Lay down on the kettlebell. Prove my point. So in turn, coach was right once again.
Luckily, Survivor Series wasn't last week.
Nope. Here we go.
Here we go.
Games afoot. I feel like that should be one of the buttons we get is a gun, like a fire gun, and then I just say games afoot. I hit that button. Bow. Cool. So let's get a little bit into my rant here. Let's talk about 3 meals a week, or 3 meals a day. Sorry, 3 meals a week. Oh, I gotta start.
Rough.
Rough start. One of the easiest things for us to do right now is to order food, go pick up food, get food from places, which is important because we want to actually support our local businesses. However, one thing that I'm finding even myself is that I fall off my diet quite aggressively when I do that. So something that I'm asking a lot of us to do this week, and something that we should focus on moving forward for at least the rest of August, even though probably because it's going to get hotter, we'll start drinking a little more alcohol during the day. We'll be outside a little bit more. Let's be aware of eating home cooked meals at least 3 times a day. Now, most of us should be eating somewhere around 3 to 6 meals a day, whether we're intermittent fasting or whatever we're doing, we should still be eating close to 4 to 6 meals a day through either shakes and post-workout carbs and things of that nature. But we should be making those from our house, understanding that it's time to kind of crank it up a little bit. And when we make it from our house, we don't necessarily always weigh and measure it, but at least we take more control of the ingredients. And so it allows for us to get a little bit more results. So if I'm trying to cut, if I'm trying to bulk, if I'm trying to do these type of things, I can extremely lock that down in the next 2 to 3 weeks by focusing on at least just making sure that I have my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner. And I'm talking about all homemade stuff. So I went to the grocery store, I physically bought it, and I'm physically eating it. I'm not actually buying pre-made food. I'm not buying pre-made meals. You still can, and then piggyback on top of it. Please do. I know a lot of my athletes that do that. But I also think we should focus on making 3 meals and then either piggybacking and then having 3 meals made or kind of snacks or something in that nature. But my rant is specifically geared towards let's get on this. We need to actually, now with it getting hot, we're not going to eat as much, and let's control what we're doing. So, okay. And that brings up Survivor Series. Yeah, finally we found a reason to use that button. That's where the lion
why we kept that button.
Yeah, totally. And that's why the lion, like, roar. Like, that's why having that lion would be so good. It would be
the MGM lion.
Yeah, totally. Pop up. Okay. Ask Coach Max. Got a good question today. Let me turn a little bit here. It's such a spooky sound. So the question was, Why should I eat 3 home cooked meals a day? No, no. The question was, change my tag, man. Why should you? Well, you should technically do it so you control your ingredients. Look at Mikey's. Mikey's now like, damn it, dude. I wanted to go to bed. Now I gotta go and cook some meals. Are you talking to me? Are you talking? Just tell me. You don't have to do it on this online thing. It's awkward. But no, ask Coach Max. The question was, I have an opportunity to work with some high school kids and want to build a fun for kids program built around strength programming. I like the Gunther cycles that we do and have seen. What worked for you and what do you like? So that has a few parts in it. Okay. The first thing is the opportunity to work with kids is great. I want to make sure that I would tell you right up front is to anytime I've had a camp and I don't get actually the buy-in of the team to just go ahead and incorporate the next 3 months or the 2 months, whatever the camp is. And it's been sometimes my own fault where I'll bill it month to month. But normally if I do the full camp up front, it's a little bit easier to get a little bit more of a buy-in. And if I don't have a full commitment to the commitment of strength and the commitment of development, and then you have some kids on that same team that have the commitment of development, it kind of sucks when the athletes leave and then come back, because imagine that you're on summer break. You got 2 months, maybe 2.5 months with these athletes. You start developing them, and then all of a sudden one of them leaves for 1 to 3 weeks. The other ones don't, or maybe a few of them do and a few of them don't. Those that don't are going to exponentially be faster, exponentially be stronger when the others come back. And if they're like competitive in the sense that they're trying to like bid for the same spot, or one is predominantly an older athlete or has a little bit more seniority on the team, and then he comes back and the other one's stronger than him, you start having these kind of problems inside that gym. So that's where it can fuel your fire and it can really help you as a strength coach. But it's also something you have to kind of address with the kids in the beginning. And if they understand that and they're willing to buy into it, you can really develop some crazy stuff. One thing that I find that works really, really well, and I've stayed with Ripto for something like, it was like 14, 16 days. But I really, really enjoy his linear progression. I don't like the fact that he doesn't do enough accessory work, like bodybuilding and those type of things. I really like the Gunther type of training. Gunther really puts forth a lot of effort of unstable to a stable in strength, and then kind of tempo type work, and then heavy lifting with plyometrics, and then he has complete output. And I really like his pyramid, and we'll talk about it in a second. Me and Mikey pulled up some stuff to talk about it, because I'm a big fan. I call it a Swedish conjugate. I don't necessarily know if that's what they call it, but when I see it, that's how I see that actual program. And then making it fun and making them understand that the linear progression is not fun. And when I have a team that buys into back squatting, power cleans, press, deadlift, bench press, like the strength, the traditional strength movements, and they're willing to go on a linear progression and understand the importance of what their weight is, training session to training session, game over. I have always said that if I'm never happy with my life and I'm just going to say like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do a 180, I'm going to do something else, I'm going to get my teaching credentials, I will go to a high school, I will become a strength coach and some type of high school sport coach, whatever the hell they'll give me a job for, and I'll make a national championship team just based off of conditioning and movement and that type of stuff. I feel that confident with high school kids, and I feel like other strength coaches should too. But it all comes down to the ability to convince the linear progression. And yes, it will get boring, but understanding the ownership of your weights and your development, and then also to the commitment to the length of time without taking breaks. That's about it. That's really what it comes down to. And then you get obviously add in a cyclical program to it in the sense of having endurance with a little bit of strength, and then going into stability, unilateral work, going into some type of strength, and then power output, and with some plyometrics there at the end. It's pretty awesome. So I hope that helps out. I hope that kind of answers the question. So bringing up Gunther, and I was going to, Mikey, can you hit my screen? I got him up still, or did he pop off?
Your screen popped off, so you're gonna have to share.
Okay, not a problem. One thing that I really like about this guy is his output, and one thing that a lot of people don't recognize is that he was an athlete that put forth a lot of time and training inside of the gym. He worked on a lot of multiple planes of motion, reflex, obvious metrics, unilateral type work. I've always really enjoyed his training montage. So you killed my music?
I couldn't hear you. You kept being cut it in and out. The training montage music was killing your voice.
Okay, watch this. Lateral hops, right? So he did lateral strength, lateral squats, or lateral lunges, whatever you want to call them. Then he's got his lateral hops. So he's combining it with strength and plyo. This in part, if you don't mind, Mikey, hit the music or hit the live for me. Coach is yelling at him. That last part. Oh shit. That last part where he's like, he gets up to the top and you can kind of hear his coach yell something. And that look right there, you can already know what his coach says. Again. I don't know why it always gets me every time. But the explosiveness and his ability to put out time in, time out was quite impressive. And he was a shot putter. He did some other stuff too. Let me pull this up. I have another thing.
Was he doing lateral squats with 135 on the bar?
Yeah, like pretty light. I think in that phase, it doesn't really require a lot of heavy lifting because the way it progresses, it goes through almost, let's say, 3 parts. And as he takes it through this pyramid, they go through like at this bottom of the pyramid, they're looking at general and kind of stability type work. And then they go into this kind of hypertrophy, tempo, strength type work. And then they go into a lot of the power output. And his stuff here, you can really see, is almost medicine ball based, very light, very stable, very movement based for his throwing. And this is what people talk about sports specific training. This, I would say, is, but also too, he also has gym time, and his gym time is not sports specific training either. It's very different. And in this phase, he's actually into doing, commercial, damn it. He's into doing stuff where he's contracting one muscle and then, stretching the agonist and then contracting the antagonist and things of that nature, where a lot of people don't really do that. And if you look at how people get injured in sports, it's by flexing one thing and then the other one not allowing it to elongate. And so he just addresses it inside of his training right away. And he also does unstable stuff and then works in that kind of stability. And then he develops himself into a very, very tempo strength. He goes through a phase where they do isometric, concentric, plyometric, and eccentric. So they do every action of the muscle, almost like the Russian montage of the leg action machine. You know what I'm talking about, Mikey and Rocky?
Yeah.
And then like the little
with
red,
Drago, yeah.
Yeah, the little red dots go up. So he goes through a spot where he'll have a really light machine where he could do concentric squats on it, where we would just do wave squats. And then the eccentric load, either we do it like a bottom up squat or an eccentric with a partner spot up. And then the concentric, we would just squat. And then the isometric, we would just hold at the bottom or hold at the top. And we would actually use his type of training, one with my athletes and as well with my Olympic lifters. And man, we got a lot from it. So I was always been very excited about the Gunther style of training. But we use it a lot. Probably put out some more stuff on it and how I use it as a hybrid. But tomorrow, I'm going to work on my 35. I guess it's pretty worth it.
Tomorrow. Well, everyone, FU Fridays, Focus Up Mondays are still around. And tomorrow is Monster Mash Monday. You can see it's a triple decker, but this is one where double deckers are triple deckers, man.
I feel like you're going to poop in my toilet. Every time. But it makes sense. The workout makes you it does that to you. So I get you.
Either you make it out or you don't.
Yeah.
So your first stack here is 12, 9, 6 reps for time of a squat clean at 135 or 95 for ladies and a bar muscle up, and your time cap is 7 minutes. Now, if you finish the whole thing and then you have to wait for the time cap, and then we all rest as a group for 3 minutes, then we're going to go into 6, 9, 12 reps for time of a push jerk at 135, 95. These are all RX weights, guys. There are different weights. We will post them tomorrow. Have a push jerk and pull up. Again, time cap is 7 minutes, and then you will wait for the cap to start the rest, another 3-minute rest, then 3 rounds for time of 18 push-ups, 9 hang power cleans at your prescribed weight. And that's for a time cap of 7 minutes. So like I said, it's a short amount of time. You're just going to have to use that rest to the best of your ability, calm your heart rate down, and then just go for broke every time the second or third part of the workout starts.
I mean, it's only 27 reps, right?
That last part is what? 27 times 3. So you're looking at 70.
The push-ups.
71?
Yeah, it's going to be a push-up workout. Yeah, Mike. For sure. For sure. At the end there, yeah. It's going to turn into a push-up workout. But the first two, unless like you're like me, where the bar muscle up isn't firing, like where you're doing 3s and 4s, you're going to have a problem with the first part for sure.
I think you would hit time. You would get close to the time cap, even if you did singles.
Nah, I don't know.
You have to be very fast singles.
I don't know, man. Because even 27, we talked about the 6 a minute, right? So let's say 5 a minute. That's
a bar muscle up significantly slower than a ring muscle up, right?
I don't know. I think the rhythm is a little bit faster, and especially with you're like.
Okay. I'm trying to conduct an orchestra while I do my muscle up.
I mean, like I was like watching you, and I was like, did he tell you that his muscle ups were faster than your muscle ups? He didn't tell you? Okay. So I remember when you timed the 6, when you were able to do that 6 in a minute, he actually timed his burpee muscle ups and did, I think it was like 7 in a minute or whatever. He basically did one more muscle up than you every minute
with the burpee.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was, right. He was, yeah. Like, and I was like, of course. I mean, you stall the rings on the way down. Of course, it's smoother, but his burpee muscle up, and now I want to kind of see it. So I think we're gonna have to go test it out. I've heard
them side by side, the rings side by side, and see who goes faster. Me just doing regular muscle ups. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard things before. I've been down this road before, like lines and things of that nature. So it happens.
I mean, I hope the games athlete is a lot faster than I am.
I don't think you got you on the burpee muscle up. I got your back, buddy. I got your back.
Oh, I definitely will not catch him for sure. But if I'm just doing regular ring muscle up, all right.
Well, I also think that it's easier to recover on the burpee muscle up too. So if you're in a better rhythm of that, you're not rushing it. But this bar muscle up singles, so back to the singles, right? So 5 a minute, there's 27 of them. So that's already
35 minutes.
and the loop, and it's a squat clean.
Oh, it's a squat clean. I thought it was a regular, just a power clean.
Oh, man.
Oh, terrible.
No, man. Some of us aren't even getting out of the 12. But it's okay. My legs are going to feel fresh, though. My legs are going to feel fresh for the rest of the week, and that's okay. I'll be good.
That second part is going to go fast, though.
Yeah, that push jerk. Yeah, especially compared to the first part, almost like they should have been flipped. The push jerk and the squat clean should have been together, and the pull up. But that's what they had in the mashup, and they had something different for the second part. It was actually like 5 rounds. But I like the number scheme, and I like the idea of going backwards on the number scheme. So that's why we chose that. And then the speed of it, we wanted a faster part on the second workout. And then the third one is kind of, I would say, the most balanced of the two, where the first one's real slow, the second one's real fast, and then the third one's going to come down to just the ability to move both of them.
Ooh, and then the extra little run that we have to do to get to the bars.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a tight 7 minutes.
The loop?
Tight.
Yeah. Maybe should have bumped it, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. See where we're at. See what we got with the numbers and stuff. Because in reality, you would have to you move your cone or that type of nature. So
yeah,
it'll be good. It'll be good. So, and I don't
great
know
start to the ginger week for sure.
I like how you're like, the FU Monday is back. All right. So Monday. Tomorrow is August 10th. National Lazy Day. It's the real deal.
Perfect.
Perfect. Great way to start your Monday. Or it's National Spoil Your Dog Day. When my bark box shows up and it gets delivered and it gets dropped off at the front door, Eleanor, whether the door is closed or open, knows that it's that box and will start barking at the door until someone goes and gets it. Is that kind of crazy or what? It's pretty cool.
You probably could smell the treats.
Oh yeah. And the toys. She's a big fan of the toys. Yeah, for sure. She's like, you lazy bums. I've been waiting a month for this. So Lazy Day or Spoil Your Dog national days, both of them. For our talk here, our closing, I'm going to start talking about our previous day. So tomorrow for our Monday motivation, I would tell you to set forth this Monday. I am challenging you all to think more positively. So what I would ask is for 7 days, only 7 days, be positive, have no negative thoughts. Do not, what I say, poo-poo. Do not poo-poo any athletes or any people or any religions or philosophies or politics. So no judgment at all for 7 days. This is extremely difficult for us. Extremely difficult. Hold no judgment, nothing for 7 days. If you catch yourself having judgment and you cannot correct it, so meaning that you say more than one sentence in regards to poo-pooing something or being negative, that means carrying on. I would say that's a fault. That's what we would say in our world as a no rep. So I would tell you strike, and at that moment, make a note of donating $10 to a charity of your least, that's right, I said that correctly. It's not a typo. To your least favorite charity. And that should make sense, right? Like if you have a least favorite charity or a least favorite cause or something that you do not agree with or something that bothers you, and that's what we're trying to tell you to eliminate. And that's what I'm asking you for 7 days, just 1 week. Let's get rid of this negative thought process. Let's donate $10 to a fund of your least favorite charity. All right. So that's what I challenge. That's what I employ or impose on you for the next 7 days. Starting Monday, this Monday motivation is a 7-day challenge of thinking positive. No negative thoughts. Don't poo-poo anybody, or you owe $10 to a charity that you do not like. All right. Thank you, Mikey, for showing up on Sunday. I apologize for using you. Let's hope we can get through the whole week. Let's hope that Max does not get tired on Monday or Friday. Let's get all the way through the week. I love you, buddy. Thank you, man. Salud. Thank you, guys.
See you guys tomorrow.
I'm still working on my 35 nuts.
Halves or wholes?
I still have. But I count 2 halves as 1 whole.
That doesn't answer the question.
Yeah. Let's do that. So a politician answer.